678,000 jobs added back.
The unemployment rate falls more than forecast, down to 3.8%.
Average hourly earnings month over month. Boy, is this a mistake? Zero.
Chris Markowski, thanks so much for joining me once again to talk about the jobs report. As always, kick us off and give us your thoughts on the February report.
Well, watching these reports go by month, it's almost like you have to wait another month or two to figure out what the real number is, because the revisions are just, they've been all over the place. I see some of the ADP revisions from this past week were just extraordinary. It was almost got a million job revision to the upside, which was, I've never seen anything like that. But again, very positive right now in regards to the jobs that are created. You know, a lot of healthcare workers getting back in the workforce, which I'd like to see. Anecdotally, you know, I've been around the country. I'm traveling here, there, and everywhere, and many places I still walk into, restaurants and whatnot, have signs out front. Please bear with us. We're understaffed. Some places that I'd normally go to in certain hotels have just shut down their kitchens and they're just serving coffee in the mornings because they can't get enough workers. So it's obviously an issue. We obviously have to get more people out of the from sitting off on the sidelines and getting them back into the labor force. The interesting thing, the most interesting thing, and again, it's hard to believe with a labor market that's this tight, there was nothing in regards to wage growth. It was zero this past month. And again, you know, you look at these things now, you're going to have to look at them a month or two down the road to really see what the numbers are.
Yeah, I'm so glad you brought up wage growth, because I had noted that actually that, you know, like you said, it was 0%, but on the backdrop of having this, you know, record high inflation in 40 years, are Americans losing out then at that point? Like if there is no wage growth?
Well, we've seen, there's no doubt there's been wage growth. Last month, they're saying it's zero. I think you're getting to a point in time where other input costs are becoming so burdensome that because of inflation, whether it be energy, whether it be gas, whether it be lumber, whatever it is, food doesn't make any difference, that employers are kind of, they're squeezed to some degree. I can't, how can I raise wages if these things that I have out there are going up in price? I still have to make money while increasing the cost to my customers and my clients. And again, it was kind of extraordinary at the State of the Union this past week. You had the President of the United States come out and say, hey, listen, don't cut wages, cut costs. Like we have some sort of magic button or cheat code somewhere. We're going to wave a magic wand where we can make that possible. How in the world do we cut our costs? If you're making a wood widget, you need lumber for your widgets. How do you cut the cost of lumber? You can't do that. It's just not possible. I mean, there's efficiencies you can cut up with. What, you're gonna get rid of coffee in the break room? Is that gonna really work? So it was nonsensical to me, where we have all of these costs, and again now with what's going on in Russia and the Ukraine, and the various different shutdowns and slowdowns we're going to see, it's going to make matters worse.
I also wanted to get your thoughts on along the lines of inflation, of something that Chairman Powell said during a Thursday hearing for the Senate Bank Committee.
Is the leadership at the Fed under you and the Fed prepared to do what it takes to get inflation under control and protects price stability?
I hope history will record that the answer to your question is yes.
So you're prepared to do what it takes without any reservation to protect price stability?
Yes.
And that would be a departure of what you've done. Thank you very much.
Can you talk a little bit about what we've been seeing from Chairman Powell in terms of how he's been addressing inflation and what might he do differently moving forward?
He kind of signaled that, you know, it's going to be 25 basis points right at this point. And again, you know, now you've got the situation happening with Ukraine and Russia, and, you know, they may say, hey, listen, this may have something to do, inflation may have something to do with something else outside of monetary policy and the fact that we've been printing money. I think that there's a lot that they can do in regards to, you know, basically stop the bond buying. In fact, start selling. You don't really have to raise rates. If you do it automatically, start selling, you know, flooding the market with these securities automatically, you're going to see the interest rates come up based upon that. The Fed has a worse, in my opinion, has a worse history than New York Jets do as far as, you know, handling inflation.
I'm a Jets fan.
So, I mean, well, then, you know, okay. So they they cause recessions. They try to micromanage things, and it never really tends to work out. If they were just focused on what they needed to be on, which is, again, they got dual mandate, they call it now, with employment and interest rates and inflation. If they just focused on inflation and don't worry about employment will take care of itself, I think we'd be in a much better place.